The historical purge that we're witnessing all over the country is part of a larger agenda to destroy what it means to be American. And it's getting more audacious by the day. In St. Louis Park, Minnesota, the geniuses on the city council there recently decided to ban the Pledge of Allegiance from town meetings. Their reason? To create a more welcoming environment to a diverse community. Well, welcoming to everybody but Americans who actually love the pledge. Well, residents were rightly outraged by this insanity, and local patriots turned out, and they stood up to the city council.
To the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, USA, USA.
And then in San Francisco, the public defecation capital of the world, taxpayers are going to shell out $600,000 to paint over a George Washington mural that offended a few snowflakes there. So let me just get this straight. People peeing in the fountains and stepping on dirty needles, that's not offensive? But the first founding father is? Perfect. So why would anyone, after hearing these kinds of stories, be surprised when someone like leftist soccer star Megan Rapinoe, who knelt during the national anthem back in 2016, still refuses to respect it today? Or when midfielder Allie Long drags the American flag on the ground while representing the U.S. on the world stage, and while mugging for the cameras, then drops the flag like it's a piece of trash. Thankfully, another midfielder, Kelly O'Hara, picked it up. And of course, Rapinoe discovered early on, though, really, that you'll win permanent MVP status when you kick Donald Trump. Like when she used foul language, nixing any traditional White House visit to the champions, and this is before they even won the World Cup. The easiest path to social media stardom today is one where you take cheap swipes at American symbols and traditions. And you must understand that the left truly believes America itself is illegitimate to its core. What am I talking about? Well, its founding was fraudulent. They believe its founding documents meaningless. All because of slavery and the people who were involved in it. Our progress on racial issues is conveniently ignored by cynical actors who are frankly using these past horrors for a power grab and, they hope, eventually a total reorganization of our society here and a massive wealth confiscation. The phrase white privilege, well, it's now the preferred weapon of choice. And it's used by socialist know-nothings to tar their political opponents and to avoid real debate. Only guess what? Now even old white Democrats are in the privilege crosshairs.
I think Joe Biden fumbles all the time because Joe Biden suffers from old white male entitlement, where he just can't simply say, I was wrong.
And liberal women aren't immune either. This week, Speaker Pelosi learned that the race table can quickly be turned on her, too. She's now under fire by the four horsemen women of the apocalypse. Freshman congresswomen who claim Pelosi is, quote, singling out newly elected women of color. Well, when asked today about the charge, this is how Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez responded.
It's singling out four individuals. And knowing the media environment that we're operating in, knowing the amount of death threats that we get, knowing the amount of concentration and attention, I think it's just worth asking why.
Do you think she has racial animus? Is she racist?
No, absolutely not.
No, that's a neat trick, isn't it? AOC blasts everyone and anyone any time of the day or night on social media. But when the leader of her own party calls her out, she cries foul. No, Nancy's not a racist. But President Trump is routinely subjected, of course, to this kind of attack. Well, his plan to put citizenship, that question on the census, was roundly derided as racist by Democrats. And today, referring to that issue, he shot back.
Now they're trying to erase the very existence of a very important word and a very important thing, citizenship. We must have a reliable count of how many citizens, non-citizens, and illegal aliens are in our country.
bingo. How is this controversial? Asking about citizenship, it's like a question that has nothing to do with race at all. It's about who is American and who is not. And by the way, African Americans have been the most directly impacted by the massive flow of illegal immigrants in the United States. No wonder polls now show that a majority of both Black and Hispanic voters support adding the question to the census. Erasing our history, our sense of who we are, is making it easier to turn America into just kind of another member of a globalist superstate. Europeans sacrificed their identities years ago on the altar of globalism when they formed the European Union. And look at what it got them. Now, we may have masked morons of Antifa to deal with, but we don't have yellow vests shutting down entire cities, or a Brexit-style mess to deal with, or a recession on the horizon, like we see with Germany. There's a price for surrendering your sovereignty and your identity, and we're going to pay it if we don't defend our history and our traditions. And that's the angle.